If you're like me, the nutrition plays a big role in your life, and part of eating a nutritious diet is also eating foods that are high in omega-3s, which can include fish and tuna. Hey, I'm Erica Zeal. I'm a mom of 3, first and foremost, and the creator behind Nocta Fitness. So a lot of you I know are either pregnant, planning to be, or you're nursing, or you've got little ones and kiddos at home that you want to feed a healthy, nutritious diet. And I was so excited when I found out about Safe Catch, because they test the mercury in every single fish that they put in either their pouch or their can of tuna. And that makes me feel so much more confident when eating it for myself or feeding it to my kids, knowing that the mercury levels in this tuna are the lowest possible. Their fish has been tested. When they first process it, they do it all themselves within their company, and they test every single fish. Once they put it into the can, then it is cooked. So let me tell you, it is the best canned tuna I have ever eaten. The flavor is amazing. Once you try it, you'll never want any other tuna fish out there. So the other great thing I love about them is that their mercury levels in their canned tuna are at least 5 times lower than the FDA recommended levels for pregnant women and over 20 times lower for the rest of us. So that definitely gives me much more confident when eating tuna, knowing that I can continue to eat tuna, even a couple times a week, and knowing that I'm getting the good omegas and the nutrition. And that is the other thing, that the way they process it, they retain so much more nutrition in their fish. And so today I want to share with you 3 recipes that I have put together that are super easy, family friendly, and easy to fix. So we've got a lot of awesome ingredients out here, all revolving around using our Safe Catch tuna. And the one other thing I want to mention is they have in their tunas, they have, like, right now I've eaten a couple of them, so they're not here to show you, but we've got one that's like a Cajun flavoring already, and they're all with real seasonings, so there's no extra flavorings or MSGs or anything like that in there. And when we open them up, the oil that's in it, we want to keep that. So you never want to drain your tuna because you want those oils. That fat is really, really good for your body and for your brain, and that's a big thing as a mom. For our first recipe, I'm going to share with you how to make a refreshing tuna salad. Super simple, super easy. I've got in here a can of Safe Catch tuna. You could also use a pouch of tuna. It's a little bit less, but if you don't want as much protein and fish, that would be just fine too. I've got a 1/4 cup of mayo, and I've used this yummy avocado mayo. It's super, super good. And I've put in about a 1/4 cup of celery. So after we've added the celery, we're going to put in just a sprinkle of some chives or the onion tops, just to add a little more green, so it looks super healthy and yummy that way too. Then we're gonna put in, I'm not adding any salt in this. You could, but because the celery already adds a little salt. But what I am gonna put in is a little bit of cayenne to add just a little extra flavor. It looks pretty, it's super healthy. You're not baking this, so it's not gonna get super hot like when you're cooking with cayenne. And then we're gonna just mix that all up. And we're going to serve it. Either you have a couple options. We can serve it on a bed of buttercup lettuce, romaine lettuce, or inside of an avocado. And there you go, just kind of break it all up. And you'll notice with the Safe Catch tuna that you can tell that it's definitely hasn't been processed like a lot of other tunas. So that's super, super yummy there. So I'm gonna set that one off to the side. For this next recipe, I'm going to share with you my Mediterranean tuna salad. So starting with either a can or a pouch of tuna, and then from there we're going to squeeze in about 1/2 of a lemon, which I find can vary, right? Some have a lot more juice than others, so use your best estimate from a liquid perspective. So that's probably good. Put that off to the side. Then from there we're going to add about a cup combined, and I kind of cheat on this. I go to the olive bar at the grocery store and I get a mix of the Kalamata, the green, and then the feta, and it's already got a good amount of olive oil in there. So that's my way of making this happen just a little bit quicker. And so I'll put in just about a cup of that. And obviously if you want just more Kalamata or green or feta or whatever, you can modify it how you like. A little more here. There we go. And I cut them up just a little bit, but didn't make them super small, so it's a little bit chunkier of a salad. So let's put in some cucumbers. Yum. And putting that off to the side, and then just mixing it all up really well. So it's lots of veggies, the oil from the olives. And for this, again, we could serve it in either a butter lettuce cup, or we could do an avocado. So I'll show you a couple options of those. And this one we didn't use any mayo. You could if you wanted to make it a little creamier, but you definitely don't need to. This one's gonna be really yummy, especially if you're like me and you love olives. Okay, so I'm gonna put that one over to the side right now. For this tuna veggie casserole, we're going to start with a can of tuna fish, which I will go ahead and put in our dish here. And then this one does involve just a little bit more. So we gotta get onto the stove here, and I'm gonna just get this one started briefly. So we need to have, I've got a tablespoon of butter. I always like to cook with real butter, organic, grass-fed. If you want to make this dairy-free, you could just use a little bit more coconut oil. And we're going to put all that into our saute pan here in just a minute with a little bit of chopped onions, and of course, I love garlic, so good for you. So we're going to saute that here in just a minute. And then from there, once we get that going, we're going to break up our tuna here so we don't eat any clumps of it, and it's well mixed in here. Get that prepared while our food is sauteing back there. Then we'll add some rice. I've got half a package of rice cauliflower here, so that way we're making this a completely grain-free meal. Mix all of that in there. And I'm going to put just a little bit of zucchini in the mix, because then I also want to save a little bit of zucchini for the top to make it look super good. So we'll put about half of it inside, and I'm going to save the other half or so to sprinkle on top. We're going to put in, I've put in a little sprinkle of mustard in here, and we're going to sprinkle just a little bit of sea salt. And I've got some garlic powder and a little mustard powder and black pepper, which I'm going to put all of those in our pan here back to saute with some little extra seasoning here. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix all of this together, and then we will add our saute in just a bit. So once we add our saute with it, we will also add, I've got about 2 tablespoons of coconut flour just to help everything bind, because with all the vegetables, it's going to be a little bit more liquidy. So the coconut flour is a really, really great binding ingredient. Okay, we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, now that our saute is all ready, we are going to add that in with our tuna and veggie mixture here. And then kind of mix that around well. And then from here, I want to add just a little bit. You could use, if you want to make this dairy-free, you could use some coconut cream. I wouldn't use a thin coconut milk because you want to keep it thicker and creamier. So I'm going to put just a little bit of cream in here, no more than about a 1/4 cup. Just to make it a little bit creamier. Mix it around. Once I've got it mixed, then that's when I will work in the coconut flour, because that can get pretty thick pretty quick. Okay, so from here, I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit and mix it, and then I will sprinkle a little bit more. So that way it's good and mixed, and we don't want clumps of our coconut flour. Coconut flour is a great binder, and it will thicken up quite a bit. But because of all these veggies, remember when you cook the veggies, they will bring out quite a bit of liquid. So right now it's looking pretty thick, but once they start cooking, you're gonna get a lot of juices out of the cauliflower and out of the zucchini. So from here, I've got that all in. I'm going to just take the rest of my zucchini and kind of layer it on the top. It's got a nice base up there, and then if you want, we can just take some of these tops of the onions just to sprinkle, give it a little bit extra green on the top, and then we are going to pop it in the oven at 350 degrees. So here's an example of a refreshing tuna all plated with either on a butterhead lettuce, or you can do it on an avocado, or you could serve it on slice of cucumbers, so many options. This one of my favorites, a little more vibrant color, same way in an avocado or in the buttercup lettuce. And then we will show you in just a bit once our veggie tuna casserole is complete. Let's go ahead and pull our tuna veggie casserole out of the oven. Here you have it. So for all of the individual recipes, ingredient lists, and instructions, you can find all of those below. And to find your safe catch tunas, you can find them at your local grocery stores, Walmarts, and Whole Foods.